Incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes. Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
So the first thing you got to do with a cork pop here is you got to take the cap off it, and then you got to get to the
Pop pot. What are we drinking, Dave?
This is a chicken cock single barrel bourbon.
Cheers.
Cheers. So it's a reserve cask, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and it's an almighty 130.8 proof, 65.4%.
And this was one of our last additions to our collection of bottles that we bought.
It might have even been the last one we bought, wasn't it? Because we were really like maxing out how many bottles we could bring back.
Yeah, and we thought we could possibly get maybe one more. And this was one we tried a few of their different ones.
Yeah.
And this was the one we picked.
I've never been so ready to use the... Oh, just what are you getting on the nose there? H? How was the nose experience of that?
It was good.
Was it? Yeah. Went straight past the nose and onto the palate.
I just went straight for the palate.
Now you can pretend.
You can tell us the nose, I'll tell the palate.
I was about to share my badly informed guessing insights into what I think here. I've never been so inclined to use the expression rum and raisin as I have for the nose of this, which I know is terrible because it's not rum. It's bourbon, but rum and raisin.
I'm gonna have a confession now as to why I went straight to the...
You're thirsty? It's been a long time since you had a drink?
No. When you bought this bottle, we'd been tasting lots of bourbons.
All day long.
All day long.
Late in the afternoon. It was a hot day.
And one of my rules is that you shouldn't buy a bottle at the end of the day because inevitably we get
definitely the
back
end of the day.
and we taste it and go, why did we buy this? With this particular bottle, I remember tasting it going, nice, but I've had nicer. But I let you get it because I love the bottle so much. And I normally stick to the rule that it's got to taste really, really good. But this one, I loved the bottle. It's a very retro, old school, vintage bottle. But what I'm really excited about is when we got back and tasted it, I really liked it.
Yeah, well,
I was very nervous. I was very nervous that it was the end of the day. We bought it because at the end of the day it tasted great after all those bourbons. And then it wasn't going to taste as good later. And it did. And it is really delicious.
Well, congratulations to ye of little trust, ye of little faith, whatever it is, when it comes to me being able to pick out good bottles, which I haven't done a good job of. It's been a reputation. Well, it's been a big day.
We brought that rule in because there's a couple of bottles sitting on our shelves that we're not going to drink because you bought them at the end of the day. And then...
Definitely some up there that I'm not that into.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that's okay.
They were just different, and I'd had quite a lot to drink, and I was, all right, I'll take them.
Lucky Cock, Chicken Cock had a great, their staff that were there at the Bourbon Festival, great. They had hilarious props. But, yeah, I said yes when you were like, I think we're pushing our bottle limit. Can we get another one? I will confess I said yes because the bottle is so cool.
Let's be clear about this. I asked that question maybe 30 times that day and the day after, or the day before it was.
The answer was often no.
Mostly the answer was no. So can we go through a few things here? This is 6 years old. It's got a great colour to it.
Yeah.
So rum and raisin on the nose. That heat, so being at over 130 proof, so 65.4%, that's a really high proof bourbon. That's like coming out real hot.
Like 65% alcohol.
Here's an interesting one. Let's just do a little bit of nerdery. You can come off, or you can go into the barrel at 125 proof.
Yep.
That means that what it came into the barrel at, it's gone up since then, which is really common. Yep. So the percentage you put it into the barrel at, so the clear stuff, the white top, has increased in alcohol in the time that the barrel sat in the rickhouse over those 6 years.
Yeah.
Not crazy uncommon because the evaporation happens. Sometimes it can go down. Sometimes it can go up.
Yeah.
Science. #science.
Love the science.
But barrels that are this high proof are, interesting and unique. And you often are having a single barrel if you're drinking a bourbon. Well, you almost always drink a single barrel if you're drinking a bourbon that's high proof.
Yeah.
And so the heat, that you do get a really interesting drinking experience. Loads of flavour, like incredible amount of flavour.
Really rich. Like it's got like sits at the back of your palate. That really.
Yeah. My tongue is, it feels a little bit like tingling in a really good way, like a really nice way. Like it coats the tongue, and you kind of get like a sensation
warmth,
across.
But it's not too much heat. It's like this. I don't know. It's like a hug.
It is like
mouth.
a hug. Yeah, yeah. And so it's a fun experience. And sometimes I heard someone recently talk about the fact that when bourbon was first, pre-prohibition maybe even, that bourbon was kind of what cowboys drank when they came in off the prairies, the plains, I don't know. And you're supposed to put hairs on your chest kind of thing. It should make you feel tough.
Yeah.
Like that sensation. And so it should be rough around the edges. And I think it was the Maker's Mark guys maybe who said, no, why can't everyone who's not a cowboy, who doesn't want to feel uncomfortable and like beaten around when they drink stuff, why can't they also enjoy it? And I'm not saying this is beating me around, but there is like a sensation of the heat being part of the drinking experience that I like here.
Yeah,
this is like,
but it's also smooth and rich. It's like it doesn't. Sometimes when you have something with a lot of heat or high proof, sometimes it's like a bit of a kick in the face, and it's like whoa. Whereas this doesn't have that. It has that deep, rich. What I'd say like a big hug in your mouth.
And I'm not someone who likes to eat a lot of chili or anything. Sometimes when I do eat hot food, when you have something that's hot or that has like an experience like what I'm trying to describe, you kind of wipe out your palate and you can't really taste anything. But that's definitely not the experience here.
No, because you're still getting like a, I don't know, caramelly. There's still flavours coming through, and it's not just like, oh, that's all heat and all alcohol.
I feel like it's all kind of like a big part of the flavour experience. It's kind of like what you're getting all through your mouth is a big, rich flavour. Yep.
Yeah. It's really beautiful.
Why is chicken cock interesting in the history of bourbon, H?
Why? Well, it's been around for like a long time, but it survived Prohibition, and then like after World War II kind of faded out a bit.
So I think that's true. I probably don't know enough about that bit, and you might know more about the history of this brand than I do, but it started 1837. James A. Miller leased a farm. I'm reading this straight off Wikipedia. I'm going to stop that. No.
I was like, how do you know this?
Yeah, I'm reading it. Sorry,
cheating.
But what is interesting about chicken cock is that it represents the fact that there was, as far as I understand it, and
now it's making stuff
if I've got this wrong, this will be so embarrassing.
You need to. Let's refer back to Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure that there's some really tight link between cockfighting and bourbon.
Ah.
And that until almost, not like recently, but that, because obviously they're like...
I didn't even think it. Well, obviously they've called it chicken cock.
Yeah, and there's another one called fighting cock, which is not it's a completely different brand. But this one's been around for a long time. Wikipedia says 1837. This one says established in 1856. So someone's getting, there's a thing here about, I don't know.
Stop reading facts. It's been around for a long time, but I know from chatting to the people there at the festival that it like kind of died out and then someone restarted it again. So this is true. I love with some of the great bourbon stories is people have kind of rediscovered brands that were there for so long and reignited them.
It's kind of true of all of them, isn't it? Like Michter's is a great story of that. Like that's only really been kicked up again in the last
with
20 years.
Chicken cock, can we get that in Australia, Dave, or is that on your trip to America?
Yeah, sorry. I feel like we opened too many bottles that you're not able to get your hands on. I tell you what you all need to do. If you like this, hop on a plane.
And come with us to Kentucky.
Well, yeah, come with us to Kentucky first and drink lots of bourbon and then work out what you really like. That's a good first step. Good recommendation. Second step, get some extra luggage, pay the extra luggage allowance, and just load up your suitcase with lots of whiskey. Then in terms of bringing them back into the country, bring children or like friends who don't drink so that you can 18. Have Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes.
Just trying to think about how to get your duty-free allowance up. Okay.
Take a lot of non-alcoholic drinking friends with you.
Non-alcoholic friends. I don't think
round up your non-alcoholic friends.
Are they really friends?
And give them all a bottle allowance. But yeah, if you are in the US, try chicken cock because it really, like it just, I don't know, it has that deep, rich flavour that is really delicious.
There's something special as well about, and I'm staring at this mostly full bottle still, going, oh, I'm going to enjoy every glass I get of this. That drinking experience, because and it's not just the high proof. This is a really nice bourbon. That drinking experience it feels quite special. Single barrel, big kind of drinking experience, lots of flavour.
It's one that you can leave it sitting there for a while. And, like, the flavour still keeps, like, changing a little bit and stays there. Whereas some, when you have them and it's, like, delicious or it's nice or it has that whatever flavour you're getting and then it's gone, this, I find, it sits there for a while and, like, I'm drinking it slower. But maybe that's the higher proof. Who knows?
Maybe I'll pour some more. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.